Well, thank you very much. It's absolutely our pleasure to have the Bay Area Rapid Transit team here with us today for the 2024 Innovation Challenge and Challenge Weekend. BART's overall focus is on meaningfully engaging and expanding citizen community participation. Their challenge topic, it's about community, not commuting. BART's team, Transit Together, is building much more than an app. They're creating an experience like never before. Connect, engage with fellow riders, make new friends, find a job, and build a stronger community on your daily commute. Discover, explore your city effortlessly, find nearby businesses, events, and attractions along your transit route that match your interest. Make every trip an opportunity for adventure. Earn, reward yourself for choosing transit. Enjoy perks like free rides and exclusive discounts at local businesses, all for simply using transit together regularly. It's our way of supporting your commitment to a sustainable and connected lifestyle. Together, let's make every ride count towards a more unified and equitable Bay Area. With that, I would like to talk a little bit. I want to say thank you to the local host organizers and the key key personnel that have really helped to make this happen. And that is, I know there are many, many more, but Linton Johnson, who this is his second year, and he's like the coach. Okay, he probably will say, I won't say mentor, but like the coach, joined by Monica. Monica has been every step of the way. And of course, Prem Bob, Prem is the manager of workforce development and just would not have been able and I know Mr. Karim is in the background on tech support. And so very appreciative there. So now let me turn to this mighty transit team here from BART. Yasmin Berriman is a current junior at UC Berkeley and graduate of San Jose City College. Yasmin is a passionate legal studies student interested in the intersection of technology and law. She has been drawn to the legal field from a young age and fueled by a new interest in technology, seeks to address the need for legal expertise in navigating the new world order that comes with complex technology. When she is not armed with her laptop and latte, preparing to take on the LSAT, Yasmin can be found coaching her younger sister's basketball team. Welcome, Yasmin. Then we have Kyle Wow. Kyle is a civil engineering student at UC Berkeley with a dedication to sustainable transportation. Over the past several years, Kyle has been interested in everything related to rail transportation and public transit and has gained a comprehensive understanding of these fields through online research and interacting with others interested in the topic. Additionally, he enjoys traveling and has learned a significant amount from observing transit operations in multiple countries, Japan, Germany, Greece, and Panama, to just name a few. Recently, his involvement with transportation has most recently been with the Institute of Transportation Engineers at UC Berkeley, an organization that prepares students for transportation planning and engineering careers through projects, competitions, and professional events. Earlier this year, he participated in the Intermountain Southwest Symposium Transportation Competition, and their team received a maximum score in the design category, which was the aspect that he contributed to. As a participant in the AYA Innovation Challenge representing BART, he is using this opportunity to learn even more about public transportation and contribute innovative ideas to improving transit in the Bay Area and beyond. Haran Tekel. Haran is currently pursuing an associate's degree for transfer in chemical engineering at Berkeley City College with a strong foundation in engineering and data analysis. Has had the privilege to intern at prestigious institutions like NASA, contributing to the Mosquito Mappers project, and BART, where she has been working on advancing transportation solutions for marginalized communities. She is also actively involved in educational outreach, designing science kits and curriculum for underfunded schools through an internship at Kids Cubed. And her leadership skills are also demonstrated by roles in the East African Student Association and the Black Student Union at Berkeley City College. Haran is fluent in Tigrinya, Amharic, and English, and skilled in Python, GIS technologies, and Microsoft Office Suite. And then Elmer Sosa. Elmer is studying computer science, human-centered design, and Latino studies at Dartmouth. His professional journey spans across different sectors from social impact to aerospace, where he spent 3 years working for Collins Aerospace and Flight Management Systems. Elmer's commitment to social impact can be seen through his volunteer work with Students Rising Above, a nonprofit dedicated to educational access for underprivileged and underrepresented students in the San Francisco Bay Area. He also connects his passion for social impact through entrepreneurship, having co-founded an educational access nonprofit organization, Nagus Nagas, and his next summer project involves collaborating with a design team for BART in a North American competition to innovate accessible and equitable public transportation. This project, along with working on the sustainable clothing startup Juniper during his time in Tuck Lab, reflects his holistic approach and interest in solutions that combine entrepreneurship with positive social change. And that is our BART team. And at this point, I'd like to briefly introduce our national judges. Andrew Brennan, who is the head of HNTB's Transit Division Practice. Taylor Gill, who is the Deputy Director for Performance Management and Analytics at the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, New York, Metro North. And she also has a very robust background. She started as a bus operator years ago, so she brings quite a bit of hands-on to the table. Deborah Salinas. Deborah is the Vice President for Marketing and Strategic Partnerships with Sacramento Regional Transit District. Terry James, who is all things that she's Jacksonville Transportation Authority. She has her title as a Special Projects Manager across with the infrastructure section, but she also does a tremendous amount in terms of their workforce development and people readiness focus. And then Mr. Michael Cabot. And Mike Cabot is a retired IT executive. He is also representing Sigma Nu Nu chapter, a chapter of Omega Psi Phi International Fraternity and their STEM programs. And he is also their Alabama STEM coordinator statewide. So with that, I will turn it over back to you, Isaiah, and the BART team, and let's take it away.
Hi, we're Team Transit Together, and we're working on an app to build community for a more equitable and sustainable future.
Over the past few years, we've noticed that people just aren't riding transit as much as they used to.
Whether it's because of safety concerns, workplace shifts from COVID, or lack of interest in taking transit for leisure activities, transit ridership across the Bay Area has been much lower than before the pandemic.
Whatever it may be, we believe these issues highlight an overarching problem, a lack of community engagement. To learn more, we spoke to members of the Bay Area's diverse community to learn more about their perspectives on this clear disconnect.
I was a BART kid. I grew up as a BART kid, right? But it turned into we getting our money. This is not a business. This is where communities cross paths.
But what if we could solve this problem and get people back on transit? We plan to address what Bay Area communities have been missing through a community-oriented transit app.
We plan to have our app encompass 3 main aspects. First is a social aspect, which would address the issue of safety and make riders feel less alone when taking transit.
For example, users would be able to report unsafe or unsanitary conditions on trains.
See something, say something. That was BART's slogan when it first opened. It was a mom and parts company. See something, say something, right? Now it's see something, say nothing.
Or form rider groups with each other to maximize safety and enhance connections between friends.
My reason for using BART today is, just to save gas, hang out with the friends together, spend some more time together and talk.
Our second aspect is the discovery page, which conveniently displays a personalized list of things to do and places to go accessible by transit.
These include things like restaurants, local businesses, community events, and even daily necessities like grocery stores.
An app that would help, riders find, cool places to hang out at, restaurant, bars.
That would be fun, and you can find people that are going with you so you can make friends.
Additionally, users would be able to view these places on a map and get directions for any transit agency straight from the app.
Our final aspect is rewards, which encourages people to ride transit more often. Riders who take transit on a regular basis could receive fare credit or discounts on participating businesses or events.
Rewards could also tie into the discovery feature, where small businesses that have been impacted by the pandemic can be highlighted.
I think, having it, again, all in just one app or one central place would make it more inviting, interesting, appealing.
The issues that impact public transit ridership are complex, and we realize we can't solve every problem at once.
However, by bringing all of these aspects together in one app, we hope to account for everyone's needs and concerns and change our community's perspective toward public transportation.
It's all about coming together. Like, I took time to come together, right? Not for me, for everybody. And sometimes people don't see that the community needs unity.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Team BART, Team Transit Together. And of course, thank you so much, Dr. Scott, for their introduction. I'm now going to reset the timer. Team Transit Together, you may now begin to deliver your pitch presentation for the national judges. Once you begin, I will let my timer off, and the next 15 minutes are now yours. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're Team Transit Together, focused on increasing ridership through building community. My name is Yasmin, and I wanted to start off by telling you a little bit about my first day going to BART headquarters for this job. So I live about 2.5 hours from headquarters via public transit, so I was a little nervous getting there. After already riding a bus and a train, I finally arrived at my last transfer, the BART station. Unfortunately, by then my transit card had insufficient funds. I had forgotten how expensive transit was. Running late, I made some calls and got my funds together, but I didn't know that you had to wait up to a few hours before your money went through. So I looked around for a station agent or any employee to talk to, but I couldn't find anyone to refer to. So I was forced to make a decision. Do I sneak onto a BART train to get to my first day of work at BART? I decided yes, and I got onto the train, wishing there was someone I could have talked to about the situation. Once I got on the train, I was immediately approached by a man who struck up conversation. I engaged in formalities, but informed him that I would prefer to spend my ride listening to music and declined to further our conversation or give him my contact information. Unfortunately, he didn't take no as an answer or this seriously and continued to sit across from me and stare at me and talk to me until I engaged, which I refused. So this whole ride, I was feeling extremely uncomfortable, and I was super grateful when an older woman pretended to know me and offered for me to sit with her. So after this whole ordeal, I finally arrived at the downtown Oakland BART station, where getting off the train, I forgot my jacket. Being unfamiliar with the area, I asked around where I could buy one, and I couldn't find an affordable option close by. So I tell you the story of me trying to get to my first day at BART, not to discredit public transit, but to highlight some of the issues that I personally encountered in just one ride, which our innovation addresses all in one place: affordability, discovery, and safety. So upon continuing working with BART, I realized that these problems were way more widespread than just my personal experience. We talked to a dozen subject matter experts, ranging from BART's independent police auditor, to the people coordinating transit fares across the Bay Area, to various marketing specialists, who all gave us valuable and unique perspectives and insights into the problems facing public transportation in the Bay Area. Also, between the time in which we submitted our innovation package and now, we have performed an extensive survey with the help of BART's marketing department, which we used to finalize the ideas surrounding our innovation. So all together, we combined perspective from subject matter experts, community interviews, as seen in the video, personal experiences, and the broad survey responses to create Transit Together. So here's a small overview of what we'll be talking about. First, we'll introduce the issue we're addressing and the innovation categories we use to develop our solution. Then we'll go in depth about what our solution entails and its impact for the community.
So let's talk more about the survey we did as part of our research. We conducted the Transit Together app concept survey in late June in conjunction with BART's marketing and research department, which asked people about their ridership habits, as well as showing them various parts of our innovation and asking them to share their thoughts about it. Overall, the survey went out to roughly 2,600 people in BART's database of current or former riders. And in total, we received nearly 700 responses from people of various different age groups, race categories, income levels, states of car ownership, and more.
Our survey gave us a better idea of the problems we're addressing concerning lower ridership. Of riders who ride BART less than before the pandemic, 54% cite work from home as a contributing factor, and 32% cite concerns of safety as a contributing factor. The survey also gave us a better idea of what the underlying causes of these problems might be. For one, there's simply way too many apps that people could use to get around, leaving many people feeling overwhelmed. Second, as Kareem in our video mentioned, there is a disconnect stemming from lack of interaction between surrounding communities. Third, there is no direct incentive to take transit, other than not having a car. And I can personally attest to this. I live a little bit further from BART stations, so riding them to me is always more of a last option. Overall, there is a lack of a transit-oriented mindset. The impact that we're left with is a Bay Area community that doesn't use public transit to its full potential, which leaves issues of equity for people strictly relying on public transit and issues with sustainability as more people end up relying on cars for transport.
For the innovation categories we want to address, first, we are aiming to provide greater equity in accessibility and affordability. Second, we want to emphasize collaborative interdisciplinary approaches to improve safety. Lastly, we want to engage and expand community participation, including a strong youth voice.
We came up with a solution that leveraged our personal experiences, the resources provided by BART, and allowing us to speak with different subject matter experts from BART Police to marketing to IT, and most importantly, community input. Transit Together is a public transit-oriented app that includes features that we found common and relevant from different navigation and social apps, and they're all in one location. This makes the experience of using transit more efficient for riders by keeping everything they need in one location. The app focuses on addressing issues in equity and sustainability for the problems that we've mentioned by focusing on social, safety, discovery, and rewards aspects, hopefully helping increase ridership.
Now let's get into an example of what the app can look like, starting with the homepage, which you would see upon first opening the app. The homepage would include a summary of recent activity to keep you updated, and would also be switched over to a map view for all transit navigation needs. We thought of multiple features that could help improve the rider experience with regards to transit navigation, such as a price filter that could accurately calculate fares, taking into account all passes and discounts to help riders stay on budget. There are also miscellaneous features like the ability to pin a transit trip to your homepage or view full timetables of different transit agencies within the app.
So the social aspect includes rider groups, which allow riders to form groups with others going to the same destination or even coming from the same community, such as a school. This helps improve safety over solo travel and exemplifies the app's theme of transit together. Riders can also stay up to date with their friends' adventures through the content they post on the social page and their map location when enabled, which allows for easy group meetups. This allows people to connect with their friends and to even form new connections with other community members, all while exploring the Bay Area through public transit.
Another major feature our app includes allows users to communicate comfort conditions. This is shown on the left frame. This feature addresses decreased ridership due to safety concerns, which from our surveys and background research, we found to be the most pressing issue regarding decreased ridership. People just feel less safe. Now, defining what safety means and how we would address issues concerning that is complex and nuanced, and it wasn't easy to tackle. One thing that became really important from our extensive feedback surveys was the ways in which a feature that addresses safety concerns through reporting could be misused or contribute to problems like racial profiling. This feature was also heavily adjusted after conversations with BART police members and the head of the Office of the Independent Police Auditor. Keeping all of our feedback in mind, our team wants to offer what we think would be the most ideal first step solution in changing the negative perceptions of rider safety, especially for marginalized communities. Our comfort condition feature, similar to other navigation apps like Waze or Google Maps, allows users to view and report conditions at stations and vehicles around the Bay Area to other users. They would be able to report their comfort levels, as well as report more specific issues like cleanliness or mechanical issues. In my personal experience, when I use apps like Waze and someone goes out of their way to report an issue or accident to other users, I feel like I'm more encouraged to do that for others. And I hope that this feature can give that same encouragement to my community. Another part of this feature, shown on the right frame, is the ability to locate nearby station agents through mutual shared location services, allowing users to have better access for questions or assistance. Overall, we want this feature to be a way that the community feels heard and united through interaction.
Discovery is one of the largest aspects of our app. It contains social, community, and economical features in a personalized feed. This is one of my favorite aspects because of the problems it solves. As a person who has lived in a part of the East Bay area called East Oakland, I have found most of my community is quite dependent on transit and finds themselves extremely stranded when it comes to finding daily necessities. Many people in my neighborhood cannot find necessities and, like me, struggle to stay within their budget while using transit. This feature was designed after interviewing multiple people on transit in different parts of the Bay Area in circumstances similar to myself. The price point feature is particularly important as it helps transit users who may not want to spend above a certain amount stay within budget. Someone who needs to get to class 3 times a week may want to only spend $5 each trip. This feature would help them find sustainable transit options from their area to their destination that would not go above their proposed budget. This not only makes transit more affordable, but also promotes sustainability by encouraging cost-effective and environmentally friendly travel choices. The social engagement feature allows users to like and share their favorite spots. As you can see here, there are events that are within the Bay Area displayed in a personalized feed. This displays the like, shares, and amount of people who are going from your community, which in turn helps you form rider groups and stay safe. The filters are able to display necessities, job fairs, community events, and even leisure activities that allow for users to discover how to commute to specific places. The map view makes it easy to see all options geographically. When traveling from San Francisco to Oakland, you can view recommended stops along your route featuring local small businesses who may have been affected by the pandemic, especially those near transit routes. Overall, the Discovery feature gives users access to budgeted, community building events, and daily necessities, helping boost employment, the economy of our community, and strengthening community ties. It makes many apps people may use to improve their transit experience, all found in one place.
The rewards aspect is our final and perhaps most exciting aspect, as it allows riders to earn rewards for taking transit. The way we envision it is a point system where you can earn points for taking transit with a bonus for riding on a regular basis. I'm sure we all like the idea of getting things for free, so we're confident that the reward system would be a really strong incentive for people to take transit more than they otherwise would. In addition to being able to redeem transit-related rewards, this would also be a great opportunity to tie into the discovery aspect by offering discounts or free products at partnered businesses, which would make users even more likely to visit highlighted places and support the local economy. Going back to the app concept survey, people are generally very happy with the main aspects of our app. 78% of respondents were interested in the conditions reporting feature, showing that riders feel like it is an effective way to address their concerns about safety. 62% of respondents were interested in the discovery aspect, and an impressive 81% were interested in the rewards aspect, so it's clear to see that the general public is just as excited as we are about the app's features. Here are some examples of what people have said about our innovation, such as someone who thinks the conditions and rider groups feature would get people they know onto transit, another person who's eager to explore new parts of the Bay Area with the help of the discovery aspect, and someone who really appreciates the double-sided benefits of the rewards aspect.
We have a number of ideas on how to make our transit app more accessible to those who may not have access to the internet or the app. We are planning on integrating our idea with libraries, community recreational centers, and even monthly newsletters in order to be able to reach all people in our larger Bay Area community. Being unable to access internet is a huge reason many use the local libraries, and giving access to the transit ideas in such spaces would help people who may have that disadvantage gain access to the necessary resources of our app.
In addition to public libraries, another way to expand the reach of our innovation is to roll out automated kiosks in certain locations, such as transit stations, that would allow people to access the features of the app without a smartphone. This would also be complemented with our goal of integrating our app with Quipper, the Bay Area's integrated transit card, so that people would be able to use their rewards on transit or at participating businesses just by tapping their card.
47% of survey respondents with a car indicated that they would ride transit more as a result of this app. This is a significant finding. showing that even those who have the convenience of a personal vehicle see the value in using our app to enhance their transit experience or even start one. Additionally, 65% of survey respondents with an annual household income under $100,000 rated the app as excellent or very good. Considering the median household income in the Bay Area is roughly $120,000, this statistic underscores the app's appeal to a broad part of the population, especially to those who might be more sensitive to cost and accessibility issues. These outcomes are consistent across different gender and race categories, showing the community is united in the effectiveness of our app.
So as we conclude, my team members will be turning off their cameras and joining in one room for Q&A. And to further continue, there are obviously many challenges that still remain in increasing ridership and improving equity and sustainability and building community. But we believe that Transit Together is an effective first step, as our surveys and community input have shown. It focuses on the needs of the youth and disadvantaged in our community. It helps contribute to a more unified and transit-oriented Bay Area, which consequently would become more equitable and sustainable. And with that said, I ask you to consider how public transportation in our community would change with an idea like this. Take Yasmin's story, for example. How different would her transit experience have been if she had a way of locating a station agent or riding with someone through a rider group? Or how some of the individuals from our video, like Patrick, could have used our Discover feature and gotten better suggestions on where to explore with friends? Or Kareem, who's seen the lack of interaction in his community cause disconnection. Our solution involves an interdisciplinary approach that addresses issues of safety. It encourages ridership by making it more accessible and affordable. But most importantly, it does everything while putting the community first. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Team BART, Team Transit Together, for your guys' presentation. I'm now going to be resetting the timer. As you guys know, this is now going to be the Q&A session with Team Transit Together, as well as the national chair. It looks like the team was all able to get in person. So it looks like you're all set up, but I will now be handing the floor over to the chair of the national judges, Mr. Andrew Brennan, who will be leading and facilitating the Q&A session. Thank you so much. Take it away, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Isaiah. Again, I'm Andrew Brennan. I'm with HNTB here in our Boston office. Really very, very interesting. Great presentation on a really interesting product with a lot of applicability and possibilities. So incredibly well done. I'm going to start with some of my colleagues and taking questions first. And I think this time we'll start with Michael. And then after Michael, I'll turn it over to Deborah. So Michael, do you have any questions that you want to start with?
Yeah, I have one question. First of all, great job, Bart. Outstanding presentation. I had a question about the sample size that you guys did. You said you sent out a survey for 2,600 and you have responses for 700. Do you think that you covered a broad spectrum of the community that uses transit with those numbers?
Yeah, I think we definitely did, because as mentioned, this was conducted through BART's survey team, and they have a really comprehensive database about different people that they send surveys out to. And this includes both people that currently ride and no longer ride. And as you know, there's a broad range of different incomes, race categories, gender, age groups, all of that kind of stuff. So we got a really good representation of the general Bay Area sample.
Very good. Thanks. That's the only question I had.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Deborah, do you have any questions?
I do. Well, first, kudos for doing a survey. I think, the data points are really important. You did a great job on that. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on the common features of the app? Will it include fare and trip planning? How do you incorporate AI into that? Just a little more.
Yeah, so I think my team member Haran can answer that.
When it is the questions towards the features within the discovery page or within the safety?
It's just the options of the app. So it could be, in other words, did it include that you can purchase your fare, and did it include trip planning? I know it had a lot of features. I just wasn't 100% clear. So I just wanted to clarify.
The app, for example, in the discovery feature, it allows budgeting your trip and finding a trip or an event or a place you can go to. It doesn't necessarily include buying a ticket or being able to purchase them, but we are planning and thinking about including the Clipper integration, which would allow people within the Bay Area to use their Clipper card while using the app or having a kiosk to use and use that to purchase their tickets.
And if I could add on to that really quickly, we actually spoke to a representative from Clipper who said that was a feasible option. So we addressed the realisticness of that scenario as well.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Terry. Terry, do you have any questions?
Good afternoon. Great presentation. Very informative. You guys definitely did your work. My question is in reference to the app itself. Have you looked at what the cost would be for implementation of the app?
I would like to hand that question off to Elmer, if you'd like to answer that.
So yeah, this is actually a very interesting question because there's many different ways we can go about it. From our end, because it was something that was community-based and that we really would want to see implemented, we were considering using a lot of the existing resources. So we were planning on using like existing Google APIs for anything transit related, working closely with our BART resources in order to, integrate things like databases for customers and, integrating Clipper Card. So from our end, the cost for that would be, if we were to take it on as a volunteer effort, there wouldn't really be a cost. And in terms of pitching this off to, it was supposed to be a standalone app. So that's if we were a standalone app, we would do it in conjunction like that. But if we were to do it with another transit agency or a higher transit authority, we do think that, for example, you need someone, if someone's going to report something, you need people checking the reports that you get from customers and users. You need someone checking up with Clipper integration, someone updating rewards, different things like that. So a lot of the costs would be related to keeping people seeing all these things that the users are reporting and keeping it updated, addressing any issues or little bugs like that. So most of the costs would I guess default to whatever transit agencies would collaborate with us or whoever would want to take the app and scale it up.
Terry, anything else?
Thank you. That's it.
Great. Okay, I'm going to turn over to Taylor.
Thanks, Andrew. Great job, everyone. I loved this idea. I really appreciate how much you reached out to the community, not just through the surveys, but the interviews as well. Wonderful job on that. I was curious about the comfort conditions aspect of the app. And have you given any thought to the way that would be updated if something had been resolved, like trash or, unsanitary conditions? I'd hate to see, a bus stay with a bad rating forever. So how would that integrate with the BART team or whichever agency you ended up working with?
Yeah, so I can take that question. So we were thinking of kind of like an updating feature. I don't know if you're familiar with Waze, but is this issue still here? And then community members can update, yes, it is still here, or no, it's not, everything is fixed. And then that way community members know that whatever issue was going on in that car is now resolved and they are now, they should now feel more comfortable entering into that specific car.
Another thing I would like to add on to that is that we're actually thinking of improving the transit agency's efficiency as well by giving them access to this data. So although it wouldn't necessarily be like you're expected to report it and they're expected to resolve it, just being able to see a dashboard of like, let's say where people reported trash issues or if people reported down like elevators at stations, which as you know is a pretty big equity and accessibility issue, the transit agencies will be able to see that and send their crew out to the most efficient places.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's the community engaging with itself to inform its members.
Another thing I wanted to add is we wanted to add frequency reporting. So the more an issue is reported, we would hope that that issue would also be addressed faster. And so it would kind of keep itself in line. If someone was to report a small issue and it was treated in the same, I guess, priority as another one, it could cause some issues with some issues being addressed and some issues remaining being reported. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
That's interesting because it also almost adds in a layer of validation, right? Like I've having worked in a transit agency on the customer service side for quite a long time, like there's always going to be one person who complains about a station no matter how clean it is. But if you have multiple reports, it certainly can add a layer of validation. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Taylor, anything else? No, good. Okay. I've sort of I'm not an app person, so I'm an app user, but not a builder. So help me out here. you answered this a little bit in terms of like using readily available information, but things like the destination pieces, is that readily available information? Do you have to build that database? Where would that information come from of, businesses or events or things like that that are happening around transit stations?
Yeah, so I'll hand that question off to Elmer.
So with features like that, where, like you said, events, we were hoping that this app would be able to use on the business side with businesses, making accounts and doing all this advertising for themselves. And there's a lot of businesses around transit-oriented development areas. So we would hope that these areas would be, kind of prioritized within our app. And for your question about, where we would get these existing databases. So we were hoping that because it's a public transit app, and as I mentioned before, we want to do this in collaboration with transit agencies. And there's already existing apps which have a lot of this data, like Bartable. So we would ideally want to, work with transit agencies and do a lot of that work, establishing databases, keeping track of, customers and their patterns on using, public transit, what are the most popular stops, where do people go at certain times, from apps that have already been doing that. So that way, when we, ideally would launch this app, it would already, be a step ahead than, starting, making those databases, getting that feedback back, making sure that everything is working. So it'll hopefully save some time.
Yeah, and then to add on, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just really briefly, a key part about our app is bringing everything together. So a great thing, which Elmer mentioned, we don't have to start from scratch, but we are able to, through our innovation, bring everything into one place to make it easier for users.
And also to add, I was going to add to the question you had about the events. We're also planning, because being from the Bay Area, there's a lot of events and things that happen within our community that many people do not know about and do not attend because they're not aware that it's happening. So we're hoping through this app, we can give access to like churches or community centers or recreational centers to promote the activities that they have in order to help the community. Like if there's a career event, a job fair by a community college, or things such as that would help build our community. We're hoping we can advertise them within the events portion of our app. And in turn, that would allow our community to understand or to see what places they can go to and places they can attend that's not easily found through Google.
And would the app know that I attended that event? I mean, because what I'm thinking about is, will it then recommend similar events to me in the future in other places?
Yes. Also, in addition to that, it will also tell you if people who you engage with on the app are attending as well. So let's say a feature event is happening next week. It will let you know if people have said on the app that they will be attending it. And then it will let you know if you can form a writer group with those people as well. And you can also just see things recommended to you by if the people you're associated with in the app are liking it, sharing it, they can share it with you. And they can also, you can also attend it and see the transit route to get there.
Got it. Okay, great. Do any of the other judges, a few more minutes, like 4 more minutes. Do any other judges have any additional questions? Taylor?
I have a comment to add on to the events thing, which is that Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority had a really great partnership with their Parks and Recreation, where they had it's called Parks Adventure Bus. So if you're looking for another thing to add to the app, they basically offered a different destination where they would take a free shuttle, and their Parks and Recreation took off and ran with it. And it was really great. They provided additional staffing and guides and activities and drink stations and things like that. And they were really excited to have people visit the parks. So it might also be a good way to get people out of the city, and say, hey, you can actually get there by transit. So another idea for a good partnership.
Interesting. I had one other question. I'm really intrigued by this station attendant issue. It can tell me, connect me. Is it just telling me that there is a station attendant at this station, or will it tell me specifically where the attendant is? Because some of the stations, I'm sorry, but some of the stations are quite large, right? Large, multi-level. So will it tell me where to go within the station to find that attendant?
Yes, so there will be a description as well as on the map feature, it will pop up. So you can follow the map.
Okay.
Yeah, so our thinking for that one was that it would be close to it'd be a proximity feature. And
Sure.
it's mutual shared location because safety did come up as a problem when we were discussing this feature, particularly, can someone see where I am and I can't see where they am? I don't know who's what. So
Right.
in order to find station agents, well, I mean, station agents ideally would already, have agreed to share the locations to whoever might need it. And once a user, declares, hey, I will need to find a station agent, we'll find like the 5 closest station agents and
I
their
see.
exact locations, and then it would give you directions to each one, or you can click on one and it would let them know, hey, someone is looking for you.
Oh,
This
interesting.
user is coming your way, having a question about this, or please direct this user to the appropriate other like station agent who might help them with this, something like that.
Interesting. I mean, I think that's a really interesting and great feature, that gives a level of safety. Like if I know that I can find somebody and someone can find me, that gives me a comfort level to maybe overcome my safety concerns that I have. So that's great.
Just a
Okay.
quick addendum to that is
Any-
that we were also thinking, oh, sorry.
Any other questions from our panel? All right, then. With that, Isaiah, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Awesome, for sure. Thank you so much for that great Q&A session. Team BART, Team Transit Together, this is your chance to deliver any kind of final closing remarks you would like to give to the national judges. Essentially any final takeaways you would like the group to have about your entire project. So the floor is yours.
And it looked to me like I think Kyle might have was getting ready to say something. So let me shut up, but turn it to Bart.
Oh, that was just a quick response to the previous question, but we were just saying as an addendum to the station agent scheduling, we would also be able to see on-train staff, so SPART and other transit agencies hire things like station transit ambassadors or crisis intervention specialists. And we thought it would also be really important to highlight those as well, because a lot of times you have no idea where they are throughout the system.
Right.
And we had an interest in non-police intervention as well in our survey. So we wanted to provide non-police options for intervention with issues.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of closing remarks, you've heard some of our experiences, you've heard the community, you've heard the people we've surveyed, and a lot of the problems that we talk about are very, nuanced and complicated to address. Safety is a big issue that is, affecting a lot of people who choose to take public transportation. And our solution is what me and a lot of people on our team feel like is a good first step. It's not saying that it's going to be fixed in one day, but it is saying this is a step in the right direction. This is, we're catering to as many needs as we can while keeping in mind equity and sustainability. So, whenever I think about, opportunities where an app like this can be used, I'm left with saying, why hasn't something like this already been done? And I just hope that you can understand a little bit of, some of the stories that you've heard, that thing that people are missing to change that perception. For some people, it's one thing. For some people, it's a lot of things. So we're hoping that our app can address as many things as possible to change people's perceptions of public transit. Thank you.
That's great.
I want to make one observation. The data was riveting, okay? Having just left living in the Bay Area and seeing what had happened, the things like 54% of I'm working at home now, okay? I mean, this is not just a pop up for today. It's really looking at whether we like them or not, truly changes in behavior, okay? That have a very direct impact in terms of the ridership and the utilization. Okay, thank you. That's very good.
Awesome. And yeah, since you're already on this topic, Dr. Scott, you opened up the call. I think it's only right that you wrap it all up and take us all home. So,
well, I'm just going to take you all home by saying it's just the same thing. Great job. For many, and we happen to have intentionally some members of our team, of our national judges that are not from transit, okay? And so when I listen to this, BART is a heavy rail system only. They are but significantly, okay? They're like the 4th or 5th largest public transportation operator in the country. They operate within an extremely complicated area. When they talk about all these interfaces, the number is either 26 or 27, but I think it's 27 other transit operators, okay, that are the local bus systems as well as other rail systems that integrate with BART. And so the thinking and the complexity of the integration, the who is the market, the how the people get there, that when they showed about the Clipper, I would tell you that it is, I actually believe, the most complicated region, okay, and challenging region to serve in the area. So kudos to you for all of the big thinking and the underpinning with data. I also personally was very impressed with the deep thinking on equity and the digital divide and those realities when we want to come through with the different apps and stuff like that. So just a lot of just very, very, very well done. So thank you. Thank you.